viewers, you are watching the Policy Times, India's only channel which talks about on public policy, advocacy and activism. And I have with me again Dr. Sriram. Dr. Sriram is the Chief Executive Officer of Cyber Security Center of Excellence based in Hyderabad. As we will know about the Center of Cyber Security Center of Excellence, is a unique initiative taken by the Government of Telangana and Data Security Council of India, which is a part of NASSCOM. We will know more about that. Now, Dr. Sriram is actually an expert on cyber security. Cyber security is a subject, Dr. Sriram will answer the importance and relevance and urgency to address issues like cyber security in a country like India, where a large section of the people uses internet, but they do not have any idea how secure their most of the transactions or usage is. Dr. Sriram, welcome to the Policy Times, and thank you for the interview.
Thank you very much, Akram. Yeah, this is indeed a very vast topic. Yeah.
First question, I want to take views from you, sir. How serious and urgent the issue of cybersecurity is for a country like India?
So, thank you for that introduction, Akram. Cybersecurity is indeed a vast and complex topic, and it is all pervading. That means it pervades all aspects of our life with increasing digitalization, right? Just as digitalization has influenced in positive ways and in sometimes in negative ways, every aspect of our life. So, and our economy, our society, our industries, businesses, you name it, education, every sphere of life. So the same way, cybersecurity is important everywhere. So wherever digitalization is, this also follows. This also is an integral part of it. Okay. So we believe cybersecurity needs to be built, security needs to be built ground up and not put in as an afterthought. Okay. In the same way, I would give an analogy to the physical world also. So there are some things that the government will do by law. There are some things that will protect certain areas and provide access and do that. Many things that you personally need to do, like locking the door of your house, for example. Nobody will really tell you. The government will really tell you to do. Okay. Right. So similarly, in the cybersecurity also a similar one follows. One of the most important things that is compounded in cybersecurity is that there are really no borders. Okay. It is an open one. Anyone can reach anyone, anywhere. So that is one of the underlying aspects. And the other thing is that of identity and privacy. Okay. So anything that happens here in the physical world is probably limited in certain ways to groups or the people there or the people on the street or in the neighborhood or something.
Right.
But whereas in the online world, identities can be faked and then a lot of transactions can be done or even reputations can be destroyed. If supposing someone takes somebody's picture and morphs it and puts it on the social media, then there can be how many views? Countless numbers, right? So these will all fall under the gamut of cybersecurity and privacy.
Absolutely. Yeah. So then this is really a risky proposition and risky situation for a nation like India. How do you think India's cybersecurity laws and legal framework stand today vis-a-vis the global standards?
Yeah, okay. So India's really waking up to this fact. And if you've seen the past 1.5 to 2 years, there have been a slew of policies related to technology and the surrounding areas. So, for example, there's a policy on AI, there's a policy on a draft on data protection rights. There is one NDCP, National Digital Communications Policy, that has come out. There was a policy on drones and so on. Okay, even for the investment side for startups, there was a policy on Bankruptcy and Insolvency Act, right? Insolvency and Bankruptcy Act also. So in this manner, this is all, and this is a phenomenon worldwide. So if you see that these privacy policies are and data protection, like GDPR, are coming up in different countries, okay, and they are shaping up. So India's Data Protection Regulation Act, so DSCI has also played a role there in really reviewing it, giving suggestions, feedback, and all that. So there are many good aspects of it. There are some aspects that really need to be looked into because, for example, there is something called the right to be forgotten. Okay, now right to be forgotten cannot. Some technologies are inherently against blockchain.
Okay.
Once it's there on the blockchain, it's there. You cannot. There's no erasure. So you cannot go back and say that you can erase everything. So sometimes there are such policy conflicts, and all these happen because technology really races ahead, and then the law flow. Okay, so this Data Protection Act, if you see, it really is quite strict in terms of this personally identifiable data, how it should be treated, how it should be handled, how it should be saved, stored, how it can be and disposed of, all of these things.
Right.
Okay. And on the Cybersecurity Act, there is this IT Act which is there, and cybercrime and cyber forensics are an important area now for the law enforcement. So we work with the law enforcement agencies also. So I'll tell you how our COE is shaped.
Yeah. Right. Now, sir, taking in a practical aspect of it, Policy Times as a public policy advocacy and activism platform, we have felt and realized, we have researched that most of this, we don't have any dearth of laws in this country. People like you prepare such comprehensive and very nice, foresighted laws for the nation. Now, when you reach out to the common police officers at the local level, because at the end of the day, it is the police force which has to implement such laws. When we ask them, we have asked them on many occasions, because we have covered many issues of cybersecurity, cyber scams. There are a lot of financial frauds, online financial frauds, which is taken in our locality. And we have extensively covered those issues in Policy Times. When we reached out to the local police, they have no idea how to address this. And neither they have much awareness about the cybersecurity issues and online frauds. How do you now reach out from the top to the bottom of these people so that the other important stakeholder of the system, which is the common mass, which is mostly internet illiterate, we can term, or uneducated, how would we really make them aware of such laws and so that they can implement them for their benefits?
So certainly, it's again a very big complex problem, because it spans not just the police, but it even goes to there are three levels here. Yeah. The police is the one which files the case and all, okay? Yeah. And in law enforcement, then there is the prosecution, right. And then there is the judiciary, right? Until the complete case is closed. And then there is this entire public awareness about the laws, about what they need to do to protect themselves, about when to report a crime or how to report it. All of these are there. So now we have to work on all these three fronts. So the basic answer to your question is awareness and empowerment, training and tools provided. So all of these things are it. So now we are holding a number of courses for law enforcement. Okay, one of them DSCI can talk about is that of CCITTRR, which is there in Bangalore. So major cyber forensic, cyber crime training and investigation and research laboratories there. It is in collaboration with here we'll be doing one like this here in collaboration with the government of Telangana, which is already shaping up here. Okay, so there is great deal of awareness today because we see a lot of cases being filed. Cybercrime cases are being filed, and people are being made aware that what are the things that they need to do to protect themselves. If somebody simply calls you and says that he impersonates a bank, says that yes, this transaction can be done, give me your OTP, such things, to downloading of files, clicking on malware, links, and all this. So there are a number of things that can be done, and there are insider threats also. People can rob banks from inside, people can hack banks from outside. All of these things we've seen happening in the past few years. Yeah. Okay. It's gathering. As we see digitalization going up, you can expect this graph also to go up, because there is a great deal of value there. So naturally people are after them. Okay. Even stealing of espionage, industrial secrets to defense, which is protection of our country. That is also very, very important. So, yeah.
Now, coming to the solution perspective of it, I do not see government can control and address the cybersecurity issue of the entire country. Government can act as a facilitator. I do not see government's role more than a facilitator, because we have seen from the past experience, government has always been failing in addressing any issue from unanimously and single-handedly. There we find industry can play a crucial role to support the government initiatives. Now, what we see that it is also as an industry, the cybersecurity industry is also a very big globally. How do you see the rise of entrepreneurship and startups in the cybersecurity domain, or industrialization of cybersecurity, in other way we can put it, or commercialization or entrepreneurization of cybersecurity can provide some relief and benefit to the common mass?
Certainly. So with every aspect of life, the digitalization touching every aspect of life, correspondingly the solutions which emerge also will be will address specific aspects.
Right.
Okay. For example, there can be endpoint security, there can be network security, there can be cloud security, there can be IoT security, and so on and on. Right. There will be tools related to privacy. There will be some things related to government for its regulations, GRC, governance, risk and compliance. Many aspects are there. Right. And on the defense side and the country level, there is weaponization of internet and several other things are there. Okay. And also within this cyber world, okay, or cyber security world, you will find that. So now, if you look at this whole gamut of things and all, you will find that many of these areas which are there, cutting edge, advanced areas and all these things, startups step in. There are absolutely cutting edge solutions needed. For example, automation. So you can use AI and machine learning to automate your threat response, or to automate the intelligence which is there underneath, to verify that what kinds of things are really what is normal behavior, what constitutes an attack. Okay. Cannot keep analyzing the data. By that time it is too late. Right?
Right.
So even the whole network is compromised off. Okay. And also, how do you bring network resilience? That means even if parts of it are compromised, how does the normal business go on? BAU continue. So you can isolate those parts and the remaining business continues, because everything has gone in online. One cannot say that when bank server is down, so entire online banking is down. You cannot afford to do that today's day and age.
No.
Right? So with all this in mind, startups play a very important role. So we have identified that this entire India's product landscape, there are as many as 175 pure cybersecurity startups.
Oh, excellent.
Okay, and to grow. Okay. So those we will nurture, and many more are to come. And we encourage very good startups from abroad also to really come to India and set up shop. And there is market access, there is capital, and there is, of course, there is access to market, access to capital, and there is a lot of mentorship, which is there. A lot of collaboration possibilities are there with big companies, with governments, and all of these different players.
Right.
Right.
Okay, now, asking the last question and conclude the intersection is that what is the role of Cyber Security Center of Excellence, and what are the activities you have undertaken under this banner?
Sure. So we have 5 pillars under the Cyber Security Center of Excellence. First is the industry. Okay. Industry covers large, medium, small industries, including startups.
Right.
Okay. So each one of them have different needs. The large industries may want to increase their footprint. They want to expand their market share. They want access to new customers. Provide superior experience to their existing customer base, as well as increase their customer base. Many of these things are there. They want to make their processes very efficient. Okay. And they want to be innovative.
Right.
Then the medium segment which is there, many of them are in India are clueless about cybersecurity.
Absolutely.
It's just running operations as usual, and let's see when things happen. Okay,
Right.
that is change. A third thing is the startups. Now the startups which are there, they're hungry for growth. They want capital. They want market access. They want mentoring. Because as you see in the world of startups, about 90% of them at least fail. Okay, that's the market. That's the way the math is. It's the way it is structured, because there is no entry criteria for startup. Okay, so they experiment, they pivot. Some of them really become successful. So it's in our own interest that we help startups become successful, because some of them can really add a lot of value to the economy. Okay, they can help remove inefficiencies and all. So with these startups, so we work with all of these players to be able to really improve the industry. as such. And we are improving the cyber security quotient in the entire industry also. Okay. So some of them are pure cybersecurity players. The others are the users of cybersecurity, right? The banks are there, the manufacturing companies are there, the healthcare industry is there. They're users of the cybersecurity. Even they are keenly interested because be it government or be it these industries, they can provide a lot of data. They can provide use cases on which these things will work. So that is the other pillar. So the second pillar has to do with that of government. Now in government, to your point, government does play a very, very important role in not only setting and formulating the policies, but also in law enforcement. How do you say that where crime has happened? Only when there is a law and against that some breach has happened.
Right.
So if files, and we see that the instances of FIRs being filed for cyber crimes are going up, okay, on an upward side. So somebody has been cheated, he suddenly finds that his bank has been hacked or something like that, he goes and files. So after that happens, and we are trying to make it simpler and easier for people to do this thing. And after that, the whole entire process starts off, the crime convictions, a lot of convictions have happened, by the way. The government is not sitting quiet. And as you mentioned, industry is really helping them with cyber forensic tools, with all the paraphernalia, with all the things necessary, both from a legal point of view as well as a technical point of view, in order to address this problem of this cybercrime. Okay, because there is evidence that needs to be built up to be able to convict a person or convict some entity which is there. So this is there. So in the government, you have the central government departments, you have the state government departments. Then you have law enforcement, you have defense, you have policy making. Right. So here in a lot of areas. So here in Telangana, you see that it is one of the first states to bring out its own cyber security policy. Okay. And at a central level, there's a policy, there is a CSTF report, Cyber Security Task Force report, which is very good and comprehensive. If one were to follow that, among other things, it says that, among many things, it says about 10% of the IT budget of every ministry must be allocated towards cybersecurity. If they were to take it seriously, you would find a lot of problems getting solved. Okay. So this is one on government. So we are running a number of programs, events, okay, and a lot of trainings on this aspect also. This whole government, law enforcement, state government departments, everything. So currently we get many, many things which are cases and courts is asked. Right. Can you help in cyber forensics area, general awareness, as you mentioned, one police force which is there. Two, some areas, sophisticated areas like saying there is money laundering happening through cryptocurrencies. Right. Okay. But these are all the areas that are coming. So now the third pillar that has to do with academia and R&D. So you cannot simply, as I had mentioned, it is getting to be a $231 billion market. And you can't just keep on pumping up the demand without really doing the supply side, looking at the supply side of things. The supply side, I mean, the people who operator level of a SOC, which is Security Operations Center, to the people who do research in cybersecurity and cyber law. Okay, we need the entire spectrum of people, professionals to be there. In fact, we need armies of people now to address the new ones. The moment the new laws come out, you'll need a lot of data privacy professionals. You'll need, the world needs about 1 million cybersecurity professionals now to be able to address this. So there's currently a great deal of shortage of people. Okay, so you see that the unemployment rate in cybersecurity is worldwide is probably running at -4%, -4%.
In one hand, the country is suffering from the unemployment problem. On the other hand, we have a sector which has immense opportunity to create employment.
Correct. So you should exploit these opportunities, and we are there to help. Okay, that's why this sentence has been formulated. So the fourth pillar has to do with user groups. So user groups you cannot ignore the user because you have to be very customer centric. They are the final consumers of cybersecurity or lack of cybersecurity, whatever it is, they are impacted every day. And they also define the user experience. They provide the use cases. They are the people who file incident reports when they are affected. So it's very essential to do. So we run a number of things for both for general user awareness, the people and all that masses. And the second one is we do specific things like the use case clearing houses there. So here in Telangana, we have tied up with one foundation, Now Foundation, to be able to address this entire public awareness part of it. And the government of Telangana and the law enforcement are there in it also. DSCI is, and we are also involved. The Center of Excellence is involved in it. Then we are this whole thing about use case clearing house, in which we sit with the industry members, with the government, to be able to see which are the use cases that make sense in privacy, in cybersecurity, and then extract out specific use cases, which then the industry can work on. Say startups can build or refine their products around it. Industry can do their solutions around this to address these problems. So they'll be very targeted and the use cases are extracted. So this is what, again, the Center of Excellence and all will do. So these are the pillars. Yeah.
I think it's one of the unique platforms to promote and create awareness in the cybersecurity domain. That's excellent to hear. It's a $1 billion industry and India's share is minuscule, what we heard. So now
yes.
The policymaking part is extremely strong, but enforcement part has to be equally strengthened to implement such laws so that it provides benefit to the country. We have immense employment opportunities in the domain. So these are some basic points that I could find out from the discussion.
And so that fifth pillar I may just mention very briefly is that we collaborate with other accelerators and incubators.
Right.
Also, be able to drive many initiatives and to scale our reach and our work.
You are promoting 170 startups in the cybersecurity domain. That's also a great initiative, in fact. So, because industry can only provide solutions with the help of the government. So that's so thank you so much.
Sure.
Keep watching the Policy Times.
Sure. Thank you very much, Akram.